I've played Dracula versus Van Helsing on BGA about 17 times. My win ratio's at only around 16%. Now, I decided to buy the physical version, and I'm happy to report after 3 plays that that win record's up to 66.6%. Dracula versus Van Helsing is a 2-player only. Well, I'd fully intended to say card game, but I got the game and was surprised to find that it's actually quite thick chipboard. True to its name, one player acts as Dracula, attempting to either turn 4 villagers in any one section of the game board into vampires, or survive the 5th round. The other player acts as Van Helsing, attempting to drain Dracula of all 12 of his health before that 5th round and before Dracula can turn an entire section of the board into vampires. In more traditional terms, this is a trick-taking game, but the interesting piece here is that the tricks don't compete against each other until the very end of the round. To start a round, each player alternates taking a tile and placing it in their stand. The important and interesting bit here is that once a card's taken and placed into the stand, the player can't move it until an effect moves it for them. Each position in the stand correlates to a section on the game board. The reason this is important is that at the end of each round, both players compare tiles to determine who wins that section. Starting with Dracula, players draw a tile and discard a tile, either the tile that they just drew or the one from their stand. When discarding from the stand, the card that was drawn takes that now empty spot. And then, depending on the value of the card that was discarded, an action is taken. This could range from having to reveal a tile from your own hand to ending the round immediately. And it's these actions that allow you to jockey your position and set up defenses in one area and potentially give up defenses in another, because you have to figure out which of the areas on the board is the most valuable to defend. Once there are 6 tiles in the discard, a player can choose to skip their turn, giving their opponent one final turn before the round scoring begins. At which point, simultaneously, players compare tile scoring sections separately. When scoring a section, players compare the 2 tiles that they have facing that section, and they have to check the value and they have to check the suit. There are 4 suits in this game, and they're always changing on which one is more valuable than the other, with always one of them being the trump suit. Any trump tile automatically defeats any other tile. If both tiles are in that trump suit, whichever tile is higher wins. If there are no trump tiles, then whoever has the highest tile wins. And in case of a tie, players consult that suit tile board, and whichever suit is higher on that chart wins. If Dracula wins a section, they flip over one of the villager tiles, turning them into vampires. And if they can manage to turn all 4 villagers in any one single section into vampires, they automatically win the game. If Van Helsing wins the section, no villagers from it are turned over, and Dracula loses 1 of his 12 health. If Van Helsing can manage to get all 12 of his health away from him, he wins the game. There's also a round tracker, and if Dracula can survive till the very end of the 5th round, that's another way that they can win. This pattern repeats itself. Tiles are shuffled and redealt, and the game continues on until Dracula dies, Dracula turns 4 villagers, or the 5th round is completed. Now, this was a game that I backed from 25th Century's recent board game Kickstarter, and a couple things that I want to point out. And the first is, Board Game Arena is a fantastic place to go and try out games. I backed this campaign specifically because I had played Dracula vs. Van Helsing on Board Game Arena and loved it. This isn't the first time that I've purchased a game because of online gameplay, so I really appreciate it when publishers give players the opportunity to test it out on sites like that before they jump in and buy it. I'll also note that I wish I'd played the game Mojo sooner on BGA, because I'm finding that I really like that one as well, and it was also part of the same Kickstarter. Now, as cool as online play is, it's very, very different from a physical play, which is why I do like to get my hands on a game and try it as often as I can. That is the case with Dracula vs. Van Helsing. It's a very different experience. When I play asynchronously online, I'm taking my turn and come back and take my turn a few hours later, sometimes up to a couple days later. Dracula vs. Van Helsing has that board game tried and true mechanism where you're actually sitting at a table with someone and playing in real time. And it's just as good. You know what? It's actually better. I didn't purchase this game with the intention of reviewing it. I bought it because I liked the online version so much that I wanted to own the physical copy. 25th Century Games did a fantastic job of creating a beautifully packaged little product. And like I said, I thought this was a card game. I fully intended for this to be a card game. The pieces themselves, nice thick chipboard. It came with tile holders, and the board is really nice. The insert works. So that's just a notch that I did not expect, and I'm really, really pleased with. This is the sweet spot where I like a game to be, where it teeters beyond overproduction and really just beautiful practicality, and it rides that line and ultimately is for the best. It has that hallmark feature that I'm really loving lately, which is you can explain it in a matter of minutes. And playing it is about 20 to 30 minutes. Now, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy light card games and stuff like that. This is not necessarily that, because every decision that you make is tense. Every decision that you make It feels like a strategy game. This is, yeah, sure, it's a trick-taking game, but you've got this board here, so you've got area control, and you are having to figure out not only strategy for where you want to place the best cards, but you also have to read your opponent and try to figure out what their best play is, and maybe they're bluffing on which card they want, or which suit they want to be the trump suit, and so you have to alter that. That win condition where Dracula wins after the 5th round, I've never reached it. I'm at 20 plays on this game now, and I've never seen the 5th round end without one of the players winning. Now, there's absolutely luck involved with this game, especially because you're drawing every single turn, but that is diluted by the fact that there are those 5 rounds, and every single round you're understanding your opponent a little bit better, and your focus has to be on specific regions. You're not just playing the best thing that you can in every single region. You have to decide which one is worth protecting and which one is worth, potentially giving up. And that may mean giving up a villager. That may mean Dracula giving up life on purpose to try to rush one specific area. And so, yeah, there's randomization. But that's easily ignored when the theme of the game and the strategy of the game and the feel of the game is so strong and deep, and that's what it is in this one. This game allows players to view the battlefield, small though it may be, and it really does feel like a struggle between good and evil, a struggle, over all of London, and it's in this small little compact box, and that's really, really cool. This is a pint-sized battle area control game that is tense, fun, and mechanically simple to learn. It's awesome that it has a wider audience now, and I'm super glad that it's on BGA, and honestly, look me up. If you want to play, shoot me an invite. I'm always open to play a game of this online. In recap, components are fantastic. There's some slight awkwardness when you're lifting up the tiles because they're not cards, and sometimes they stick together. That's easily overlooked by how nice a production this is. It's fast, it's fun, it's interesting, it's tense, and it is extremely enjoyable. Thank you so much for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. You can find me on most forms of social media at Plumpy Thimble. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.